He was called Papa Joffre by the men who followed him into the fire. Calm under pressure, unshakable in the face of chaos, Joseph Joffre didn't rise to prominence through charisma or cunning speeches, but through sheer resolve and a capacity for decisive action when hesitation meant defeat. Born in the sleepy town of Rivesaltes in 1852, Joffre grew up speaking Catalan before learning French. The son of a cooper, he entered military school at a young age and soon proved himself in the Franco-Prussian War. Though France lost that conflict, Joffre's career quietly gained ground. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't political, but he got things done. Assignments in Indochina, West Africa, and Madagascar sharpened his logistical skills, experiences that would later prove invaluable when Europe stood on the brink of catastrophe. By 1911, Joffre had been appointed Chief of the General Staff, a role that placed the entire French army under his direction. It was a critical moment. Tensions across Europe were rising. The French High Command still clung to outdated ideas about battlefield glory and the supremacy of offence. Joffre, however, had witnessed firsthand the brutal cost of modern warfare and quietly set about reshaping the army. He dismissed dozens of ageing generals, promoted younger minds more open to strategic adaptation, and revised war plans that had become little more than relics of a previous century. When the First World War erupted in 1914, Joffre faced a terrifying reality. The German Schlieffen Plan was not merely theory, it was being executed with astonishing speed. German divisions poured through neutral Belgium, bypassing strongholds, overwhelming weak points, and pushing deep into France. As French and British forces struggled to organise resistance, panic swept through Paris. Government officials considered evacuating. Military leaders clashed. Amid the turmoil, Joffre remained composed. He coordinated a broad-scale withdrawal, while quietly restructuring the chain of command, removing those he considered unfit for the crisis. His ability to remain cool-headed while others succumbed to dread became a rallying point in itself. Then came the First Battle of the Marne. With German forces only 30 miles from the capital, Joffre executed a bold counteroffensive. He shifted French armies laterally across hundreds of miles using railways, an extraordinary logistical manoeuvre at the time, and struck the German right flank just as their momentum began to falter. The Germans were stunned. Forced to retreat, they abandoned their hopes for a swift victory. Joffre had not only defended France, but had turned the tide of the war. It was a staggering reversal. Across the nation, he was lauded as the man who saved Paris. His rotund figure, thick moustache, and unshakable calm turned him into a national icon. Children sent him letters. Songs were written in his honour. Yet the war dragged on, and the price grew heavier. Trench warfare soon replaced mobility with mud, blood, and attrition. Joffre's leadership, once revered, began to face criticism. Battles like the Somme yielded horrific casualties for minimal gains. Politicians began to question his judgment. Though he remained a symbol of stability, his methods seemed increasingly out of step with the changing nature of industrial warfare. In December 1916, under growing pressure, he was replaced by General Nivelle. However, the government softened the blow by naming Joffre Marshal of France, an honour reserved for commanders of historic importance. Even after stepping down, he remained active. In 1917, he travelled to the United States as part of a French diplomatic mission to encourage American involvement. Though not known for stirring speeches, his presence lent weight to the effort. He met with military leaders, offered strategic insights, and helped strengthen cooperation between the two nations. After the war, he largely receded from public life. He published his memoirs, offered quiet advice when asked, but declined to re-enter the fray of political or military disputes. Joseph Joffre passed away on January 3, 1931,